to the Overwatch League 2019 season. I am Excelsior here alongside Wolf live at the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles, California, and we have another exciting day of matches for you. Kicking things off, it's going to be the Paris Eternal going up against the NYXL, who are looking to bounce back after somewhat one-sided loss at the hands of the Gladiator.
And given that the New York had that shaky match and how good Paris has looked recently, this match might not be as one-sided as you would have thought.
Yep.
Another interesting note here is New York's already clinched top 6. They will be going directly to the playoffs, but a win against the Paris Eternal here or any other team for the remainder of Stage 4 will clinch them that top spot for the Atlantic Division. So this could be the moment if they're able to bounce back here today.
Yeah, I mean, New York, especially coming in with the 2-2-2 meta, we kind of anticipated that things would be cleaner for them with Libero on this roster. His Mei, his Genji, very storied picks for him, but wasn't really able to deliver versus the Gladiators.
Yeah, you know, he was one of the first competitive Mei players in Overwatch history. His Genji has been decent. He's had a lot of history on the Pharah, but him in particular, you know, we saw the desk criticizing earlier Nene, but for me, I was looking at Nene on that last match we casted him, or Libero rather, and he just didn't look really clean overall. So I'm hoping for him to come back in and show us a little bit more of what we expect to see from such a legendary player.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, especially going up against Soon and Shadowburn, who have been resurging in this 2-2-2 meta. Seems like the Zarya just weren't really cut out for that, but when they get onto those damage heroes, these guys are excelling like crazy.
They certainly are, and Soon in particular on these sniper heroes. I mean, he is absolutely crushing it. You give him the Widow, you give him the Hanzo, and he is going to have a field day, especially in defensive high ground setups. The guy just does not miss. He's leading a lot of stats right now in terms of the Widowmaker. And I gotta say, you know, with Volskaya in this pool for this series, that's gonna be a great boon for the Paris Eternal. And I think they have a real shot, I mean, seriously, to upset the New York here.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see what roster New York is going to be bringing out, especially when we do get over to Assault. But if they can't deal with that Widowmaker, it's going to be troubling times for them. So we have to see how they're going to be able to adapt on the fly, who they're going to be starting for Control, and whether or not that roster is going to be evolving throughout the plays.
Certainly true. I mean, this is a really big moment for Paris. If they can take this, I mean, they've got a real road to make those play-ins actually happen. This is one of the toughest series they'll have to win.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. First, let's bring out their opponents. It's the New York Excelsior.
New York having only 3 losses this season, 2 to Atlanta, 1 just recently to the Gladiators. And they come in the core DPS lineup that you expect to see. It's going to be Saebyeolbe and Libero to start things off. No Nene. Pine's still been absent for this season. This is a team you expect to see on Control. You almost always see Saebyeolbe come out, play more fast-paced. Tracer, you see him come out, play the Sombra oftentimes. And he's obviously got the flexibility to play that Mei. He's already played a lot of Widowmaker as well. So this is the lineup you start with. They need a great start here because it gets tougher as we head into Volskaya for the second map.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and bring out the team looking for that upset, looking to deny away again the clinch of the Atlantic Division Championship. It's the Paris Eternal.
This team has really found its footing here in Stage 4, and it was already on the rise in Stage 3, and it looked pretty hopeless for a while that this team would make play-ins, but it's starting to feel more realistic all the time, especially when you see Soon on the starting lineup, and we will have him and Shadowburn to round things out here for this first series. It's going to be Cloudy in over Bin Best as well on the tank lineup, something that we've been seeing a lot here with the 2-2-2 lock with Gray on flex support. So this is the most terrifying version of Paris that you can expect to see in Stage 4, and I'm very excited to see what happens when Soon does clash in that Widow duel later on you'd expect against Nene once he gets subbed in after Control.
See if they're going to be able to start things off with a victory on Control and already take the lead against the NYXL, or if they're going to be able to bounce back, as we've been highlighting this entire time. It's going to be about how NYXL can deal with Soon, if they can deny away those sightlines on the snipers and try to shut him down. Sabiobi, he's shown us a little bit of Widowmaker, but it hasn't been very compelling.
Yeah, it hasn't been compelling, and it's also not been too much on control, right? This is where we'll probably see a little bit of Sombra from both of these players. So this is going to be the more fast-paced matchup between these two, not the Widow matchup, but more the Sombra, the Tracer, potentially. And obviously there's the potential of Mei from these two, but with Libero on the roster, you expect that he'll be the one playing it on the New York side. But also, there is some real potential to see Reaper. We're heading into Lijiang Tower for our first map. We haven't seen these two teams. Yeah, we have spoilers. We haven't seen these two teams play a ton of Reaper just yet compared to most of the others, but certainly something that is on the rise right now.
Well, just to get the confirmation from our map set presented by Toyota,
it's actually Busan. My bad.
So your spoilers are wrong.
Yeah, well, that was the trick.
Just trying to subvert expectations for the audience. I see pulling some Last Jedi stuff. But here we go. Busan going to be coming up at the beginning. So suddenly the Widowmaker possibility is right back into the mix. We'll see what our first round is going to be. But Downtown especially has that opportunity. But so does Mecha Base.
Certainly true. Absolutely a much more likely map to see Reaper on as well than Lijiang Tower. And as you can see, both of these players starting the Reaper right away. So Reaper and Mei has been a pretty big combo right now. The slows and the setups for the Reaper to get that extra damage there are very powerful. It's also why you see Moira, because it makes the Reaper very difficult to kill with his self-healing and the Moira healing on top of it. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer before we do see potential Widow duels here.
Pushing forward with those Reapers. So far, unable to find too much damage here. Ice Block's already going to be used by Libero safely. Is going to be resting behind that barrier for now. Now trying to push around the other side. Hulk comes in. That's going to be soon taken down. Jonik able to find the kill with the right click. So eliminating him. Gray actually playing quite far forward here against the NYXL. Just dropped down onto the low ground, but now it's going to be frozen and eliminated by Libero. And Sabiobi continues to play forward up into the face of these tanks, looking to break them down. Rough start here for the Paris Eternal. Gonna have to reset, come back in as a full squad to try to take this point.
Pretty even on ultimates though, so the New York Excelsior don't have a ton of extra tools to really deny this next approach. Sure, they have the Coalescence and they will have the faster Blizzard, but these two things aren't really gonna be how you stop the Eternal from getting onto the point. As you can see here, they're already on it.
Drop down in from behind, the barrier comes down from Cruz, dropping the beat. Now Shadowbird's gonna be frozen up, and Libero gets his Blizzard taken away, so a major opportunity now for the Paris Eternal to try to turn this one around. Coalescence is in from Gray, trying to keep Cloudy topped up. Trying to also make sure that Sabiobi can't find any picks. Death Blossom comes out first for soon, but doesn't lead to anything. And YXL still in control of this point. Supercharger gonna be dropped in by Mono, looking to turn things around, picking off soon. It's gonna be huge now. Sabiobi uses the Death Blossom, comes up with 3, and they will maintain control.
Finzi, unfortunately not in position to block any of that damage, was also self-destructing there. Try to remech, and not gonna happen here. Well, I mean, technically it does, but he gets killed immediately. So no way to block that damage. The absorb there on the Blizzard is a great start, but they had the sound barrier first to approach the point. That meant that NYXL got the second sound barrier, which is always the better one. Libero's close to his Blizzard. Another one here now that could really help close this one out. This could be a 100-0 if Paris can't make a pick happen here.
Yep, Coalescence in from Jonik. The wall comes up to try and deny a lot of that damage away. Bomb down from Meko, manages to find Cloudy. Caught out away from that barrier. NYXL with a vice grip on the point right now, playing even just away from it. Now looking for some additional stagger kills. They will have them as Gray goes down.
So they are able to win this fight without using Libero's second Blizzard here. And Finzi, he may be able to absorb it once again. That'd be a great start for them. But once again, they're probably going to have to sound barrier first, which gives the sustain advantage and the extra later shielding to NYXL. Here's the potential wall off.
Yeah, wall's coming out soon, though. On a slight flank, manages to catch Sabiobi off guard and takes him down. Nearly has that Death Blossom online as the sound barrier comes through from Cruz. Looking for the flip. Somebody's got to tag the point. They're all frozen. They barely manage to get in. Cloudy forces that one out. Finzi's going to be knocked out of the mech by the Blizzard. Now soon going to be taken down just 1% away from that Death Blossom. No way to rest him back into the fight. They're going to have to try to win this. A man down without a D.Va mech as well to mitigate this damage. Coming out from Sabiobi. Doesn't get too many kills in the feed for himself, but Libero and Jonik are there. They clean up house, and they will take it 100% there to NYXL for the first round.
Despite the early pick there onto Sabiobi, Libero's Blizzard is able to get them the kills they need. And it's the extra freeze time there that really helps Sabiobi return back to the point, get his Death Blossom off. Wasn't absolutely necessary to win that round, but it was a very one-sided map because the support ultimates were used much more effectively than they were on the side of the Paris Eternal. Jonak and Anamo were able to use their support ultimates in such a way to force mistakes out of the Eternal. Anamo got to use his sound barriers second in a lot of those fights, and that means that you're getting the shielding second when members are starting to go low on both sides. You're going to have that extra advantage. And, you know, we called it support ult chicken for a while now, but sometimes you don't really have a choice when your opponent's at 90% and you've got to approach the point that you have to use that sound barrier to even touch.
We'll see Cruz moving over onto the Batiste, but it's going to be without a May. So no 369 will be soon on that McCree with Shadowburn on the Hanzo.
Yeah, so hogless on both sides, but it's about the extra poke range here with the sniper from Shadowburn here, the Hanzo and the McCree. They actually control the point first.
I mean, the McCree is a great adaptation. If you get that flashbang onto Sabiobi or Libero, the Phantom Hammer will take them down before they can escape. Shadowburn going to be traded out, but Mono and Meko both going to be eliminated effectively from the fight.
We talked a lot about ranged poke yesterday when we've seen this McCree versus the Reaper. Sabiobi very likely not getting out of here, despite a little bit of lifesteal coming through in the healing. So now Soon has the ability to poke heroes like Jonak here, right? There's a little bit of delay, as you can see from Libero. He gets a little bit more of that Blizzard charge. But now for the approach for Sabiobi, getting to this point through the barrier and all the poke damage coming out, not just from a McCree, but a McCree Hanzo, is going to be so difficult to execute. And a lot of teams would have swapped here to something like a Tracer in this scenario. Sabiobi's going to stick with it because he knows the Blizzard is almost ready. But if this next fight goes poorly, Paris Eternal are going to have so many advantages.
Yep, already Deadeye, Dragon Strike getting ready to come through. We know it's not going to take very long for Cruz to get that Amp Matrix up. Mono taken down, and Shadowburn plays a little bit further back here. The slight flank angle. He's trying to get that shot in onto Libero, instead throws down the Sonic Arrow, gets the spot, and that last one will knock Meko out as Libero also gets picked.
I've been talking about this a lot the last few days, especially in 2-2-2, but I encourage newer fans, especially if you want to track someone's effectiveness, especially before ultimates are really used, check their ult counter. Sabiobi's at 40. You can see he's done very little damage. He's had very little effectiveness because he's just outpoked, he's outranged here. And once again, he's chipped down so low before he can really get to the point. And this gives Paris the opportunity to zone. They have nearly 6 ultimates online. This is their fight to lose.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about damage, pretend nearly 3,000 up right now is Shadowburn compared to Sabiobi with the Reaper. Just hasn't been able to really get into a position to let that damage fly. Sonic Arrow over onto the side. Will spot out the squad. Wall going to be used. Dragon Strike going to be tossed in. We'll see if a halt can pull them through. Instead, it's just going to be the Transcendence coming out from Jonak, forcing that one. Still do have a sound barrier to use, but Sabiobi just going to be taken down by Soon. Follows up. Gets that extra kill now on the Jonak. Deadeye over onto the side. Takes out Anamo. No supports, no front line, no nothing. Paris Eternal looking to fire back with a potential 100-0 versus New York after suffering one on Mecha base.
It's a compositional mismatch here for the NY Excel. They started the Reaper. They stayed with it even after losing control of the first point.
Sabiobi's already gone.
Yep, they poke him out. And that's what I'm talking about. You can't touch the point. They can't get in there. And that's why we're seeing so much McCree versus the Reaper right now. But they even teched in the Hanzo. They wanted to go full ranged. When you're dealing with a Mei, sure, she has no damage fall up on her right click, her icicle damage coming out, but you're going to be firing at mostly at Cloudy's barrier here if you're Libero. Sabiobi's not going to be able to capitalize on any chip damage you get from non-headshots from the Mei because he can't get in there. You can't dive in as the Diva. And these things all just add up to where if you get that point first and you've got a great hit scam player in Soon, I mean, that's all it takes, really. And New York was just unwilling to swap Sabiobi off of the Reaper.
Oh, we see the Lucio, we see the Moira with the Orisa from the side of NYXL. So it seems like they want to try to bunker down on the point, that little cubby. Keep themselves safe. If anyone pushes forward to try to disrupt them, Sabiobi can take them down, rip them apart.
It's so important to get control of the point first when you're running this.
They're not rushing it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a potentially big problem here.
Let's see how NYXL tries to play around this from the side of the Paris Eternal. Going to be very chaotic with Soon constantly trying to slip into the back line and take people down.
You can really bully your way onto the point, though, when they're running the Sombra. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Oh,
here's the slow.
Wanted to roll in, gets frozen, but will not be taken down. Cloudy surviving as he drops down, gets frozen again. Chunked down to about half HP, nearly finished off. Now Cruz going low as well, and Shadowburn's actually going to be the first one to get picked. A big opportunity now for the NYXL to get that bunker established. Pile driver coming in, the shields are up, but against a Reaper by yourself, it does not matter. They take him down, that's a fantastic start for the NYXL.
And I think that in that last engage, you pointed out Cloudy doesn't roll in. I think he just didn't get as airborne as he would have liked to be, because then he could have pile drove in, disrupted the bunker. You need something like that to break it when you're running the Sombra. Now, the EMP can be one of those great tools, but Soon, unfortunately, is just not ready yet with that.
The pile driver does come through here onto the high ground. As he said, Soon, not quite to that EMP, but getting dangerously close, 16% away. Cloudy continues to take so much damage just on the initial approach here to the point.
Almost ready, as you said.
Yep, EMP gonna be farmed up, instantly dumped in, manages to catch out 4, including Libero, who now cannot use that Blizzard. Will get taken down, Jonik as well. Posed down by Gray with that Coalescence. Death Blossom going to be coming in, but the defense matrix is there from Finzi to deny a lot of that damage away from Sabiobi. Now Shadowburn, with that sound barrier shield, can push forward and get his own Death Blossom online. Seems like they might just be able to take this flip without investing that ultimate, so we'll have it for a reapproach by the NYXL.
Yeah, they won't have the Death Blossom, though, and it's been shocking to see that used in this situation, unless Sabiobi's going to swap, which he didn't last round. Doesn't look like he has any plans to do this time either. When you stay in fight like that, you buy yourself about 10% of extra percentage, but you give Soon half an EMP because he's just sitting there free farming with left click, getting half of an EMP, and now you're in a really awkward spot where Blizzard, you have it, but you don't have anything to pair with it.
And now he's hacked. They're trying to take him down. A Shadowburn pushes up into the front. A lot of burst damage, burst healing rather, is there from the side of Jonik and Anamo, but with that bomb going through, they get taken down. It's going to be a good start to the hold for the side of the Paris Eternal. Ice block coming through will get topped up to about half HP. Libero gets that D-Matrix and will be able to escape.
Finzi's had a lot of really great moments on this round. He's had these flank bombs. You know, the Orisa barrier can only be facing where it was placed, right? So you can go around the other side of that. It's not like a Reinhardt shield that can be turned. He's also absorbed Sabiobi's Death Blossom. So a lot of credit goes to Finzi here on this third and final round. Now the EMP is ready. This approach is going to be so difficult, even with the sound barrier, because they have to be the ones making the attack. The sound barrier often used on approach. At least they know where Soon is. That's a start.
Yep, Coalescence used here by Gray. Will be one of those support ultimates going away. NYXL still holding on to their own Coalescence and sound barrier. Might have to use both of those just to try to get this flip back into their favor. Paris Eternal slightly in the lead right now as the EMP comes down and Namo's gonna get caught. The Coalescence still goes through from Jonak. They managed to find Soon. The 1-for-1 exchange so far, just gonna be down to support, but Mono makes his way over onto the point, drops down that barrier, but Shadowburn is hounding him down. Has to use that Wraith walk just to get himself out of the Blizzard. Libero going lower and lower, uses the wall to block out a little bit. Shadowburn goes up over the top, but the D-Matrix is there. They deny the damage away. Now Sabiobi comes in and wreaks havoc with a Reaper of his own.
Sounds like deja vu here, you know, with Shadowburn using his Death Blossom in a lost fight, absorbed by Meko, just like we saw Sabiobi do moments before. But when the dust settles here, the Paris Eternal, their win condition is to get that EMP within 40 seconds of this timer and use it to flip the point. This next push is going to be where they want to force the sound barrier, because that's the counter to the EMP. So this fight still has to be a good one for them, or else that EMP isn't going to get value. So this is a part one of two, really, for Paris to take this back.
Omano going to be taken down. A solid start here for the Paris Eternal. Sound barrier shields going out from both sides, and Avo's going to be lasting a little bit longer as they try to survive. Cloudy at the moment going to be frozen up. Another Death Blossom coming in for Sabiobi, rather. Manages to find two as Gray and Finzi both get eliminated. Pop out there is onto Meko's suit, however, and Sabiobi gets taken down, so there's no damage in the fight for the side of the NYXL. Shadowburn,
Jonak
created out, Soon goes low, has to fade away. The flip is coming through for the Paris Eternal as the NYXL approach that OT, and Jonak with the right clicks comes up with 2 kills as Cruz gets taken down. Minefield going to be dropped in, the pile driver unable to clip anybody, but Paris, they get the point right in OT. The NYXL are looking for that fast flip back into their favor.
Not trying to knock him into the mines is Cloudy, it works!
Now Mono does get taken down, the supercharger is still rolling, but now Gray going to be eliminated and Cloudy taken down by Sabiobi. Shadowburn looking for a pick here on the liver. He's got that Blizzard online, but he's not going to get to use it. Now Shadowburn drops in, but again, the defense matrix is there, and Sabiobi just scoops a kill onto the enemy Reaper. There's Eternal still in control, but losing it now. NYXL flipping back into their favor. The OT dwindling away. Can someone tag in? The answer is going to be yes. They reset it here for a moment as Cloudy arrives yet again to try to elongate the fight. EMP comes through, but Sabiobi dodges it, and now he's got the Death Blossom online. Slams that one down. They push away from it. That clears him off the point. That means NYXL take map 1.
Heroic plays from Jonak there at the end, surviving, keeping himself healed and getting that pick while also tagging the point, keeping it alive, allows New York to come back and use these ultimates Great play from Jodak, not known for his Moira so much as his Zenyatta, historically speaking, but really big plays.
Solid stuff here for the NYXL. Let's see if they can keep that ball rolling in the next map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Pass into the iris.
And welcome back. We are one map deep here in this series. NYXL able to get the victory on Busan, but there's Eternal certainly making them work for it. So taking things dangerously close there, double OT about in that final round, but NYXL are able to slink away with that victory.
I mean, if that's going to be indicative of this series, I love to see it. I mean, we've had so many close series in these first 2 weeks alone, and even though New York has only dropped 3 series against only 2 teams in regular season, I feel like this is one where they could definitely let it slip away given their current form, and Paris was very close to making that happen. But as we head into our second map, this is where you expect to see substitutions coming across for New York. This is where you expect to see Sabil be pulled out, and then Nene gets put in. And surprise, surprise, this is where you're going to see that Widow duel. This is where you get to see the Nene versus Soon duel with a potential Hanzo mixed in as well. But this is where you can really make a great stand on defense. But if you're someone like Soon, you could break the rules. You can attack Widow on Volskaya because you're just that good. You could hit those headshots. You could take those risks. And that's what's really putting him apart of other Widows right now, is he's willing to take the risk and he's winning these unfavorable matchups so well. This is Paris's advantage in terms of Widow duels right now, and that's what makes this so exciting if you're a Paris fan, because this is the era of Soon again here in the Overwatch League.
Yeah, has been resurging. Shadowburn as well, of course, as we were mentioning before the match started. Both these guys looking fantastic on those damage heroes. A little bit rough around the edges for Shadowburn, using a lot of Death Blossoms in front of Meko, who has a defense matrix available. But if you can correct those mistakes, then I think that it'll be a very good return to form for the rest of the series.
Yeah, Nene's played pretty split time around the Sombra, the Hanzo, and the Widow here in Stage 4, whereas Soon has been a lot more Widowmaker focused in this stage. And Nene, he had a great start to the season in the moments where he did play Widow, and he was outperforming Pine in a lot of ways, and that's why he has been kind of the go-to hit scam player on this roster over Pine, despite Pine's results last year. And so, for him to come out here and to make a big statement you know, against Soon would actually, I think, give people more confidence in Nene's abilities, because we know he's a great Widowmaker player. Got overshadowed by DM and some of the other Widowmaker players at the end of Stage 3. But now we could have a big comeback here. And talking about Libero and Shadowburn, we'll probably see a little bit of Mei and a little bit of Hanzo from both of these guys as well as we head into this first shield break for the Dragon Strike into Halt combos. There's a lot of really cool ways you can use Hanzo to flank on attack as well, and that's how you can break that defensive Widowmaker setup on Volskaya.
We'll see how they fare. It's a good start here for NYXL, but need to continue that momentum. Try to move up 2-0 here to reinstill some hope in the fans, because you know a lot of people, we knew that the Gladiator series was going to be close, but they honestly kind of made it look a little bit easy for themselves taking down NYXL. Volskaya will be our second map in the series, as you were alluding to. Fantastic for the double sniper especially, but Mei has been popping up every now and then as well on this map, so we'll see what these guys have prepared for us.
Yeah, you know, there's always a big difference between legacy and form. And with Soon, you know, he has a very big legacy. He's got a very big history in competitive Overwatch since his time on Rogue at the very beginning, before Overwatch League even existed. And when you compare that with his performances on the Zarya, as was mentioned on the pre-show, you know, people are like, does he live up to the legacy? It's hard to see that. It's hard to feel that. It's hard to remember that. But the second we got into Stage 4, and the second this guy was given the opportunities to duel Widow v Widow, and to play these maps where Widow is so powerful, everyone remembered. And those who didn't believe, who had heard the stories of Soon, were believers. And I think that this is a great opportunity for Soon to, once again, prove that he is one of the best snipers in the world. Against Nene here. He's the defending Widow. Shadowburn will start the Mei on defense. So Soon has advantage in sight lines. We'll see if the NYXL want to try to match that, or if they're going to try to do something completely different. Symmetra to start.
Yeah, it seems like it's just going to be a TP around the left side.
Yeah. This is very tricky, and it's going to trick Soon's positioning. So a lot of respect shown here. They're not going to challenge Soon's Widow, but rather avoid it.
He's in the garage right now. He's got to peel around the other side. Is working his way through at the moment. See him there, the left side of the screen. He's got to be careful. There's still a Reaper lurking around the main entrance. And now they have sights on him. Discord Orb going to be granting that vision.
He's going to try to get on this high ground if he can, but no grapple here.
Got good Bionade there. Delays. Shadowburn gets a freeze and Mono gets taken down. Solid start coming through for the defense here. The Paris Eternal soon nearly gets eliminated. Oh man, locked into the corner. Nene will get finished off. The freeze sets up for the headshot.
I feel like Paris have always had a really good grasp of defensive A on Volskaya. Whenever there's something tricky like this happening, they're not just going to get steamrolled by it. They're not going to get bulldozed by it. They just reposition, have that control with Shadowburn on the flank. The wall goes up, and they just pick apart New York. New York got to a place where they shouldn't be allowed to get to using the Symmetra teleporter, but very quick reaction from the Eternal. They've seen this before. And now again, Soon dominates this choke point.
Yeah, looking for the shot there. Unable to land it, and oh man, just gonna be taken down. The combination of Libero and Jonak finds the elimination. Cruz is able to get into position, however, to go ahead and put him back into the fight, but now Gray is gonna be eliminated, so Cruz is operating by himself as a healer, and Shadowburn gets taken down. Libero instantly dumping the Blizzard on the back end of that, and now Cloudy will get locked down, eliminated. Soon as well will fall.
Look at the headshots coming through from Jonak here as well. Absolute nutter on the Zenyatta. I mean, he is very accurate. We also saw, as you mentioned, Jonak did most of the damage there onto Soon, and then it was actually also a headshot from Libero. That wasn't even necessary to kill him, but it was what killed him in the end. So we don't get to see the Widow duel. And this is actually Soon overextending. Remember, he was far up to the left, and he grappled back in, and that's when they caught him. He didn't start in a standard Widow position. He was playing very greedily up in the front and gets paid. You know, he has to pay for his greed now.
Yeah. Well, swap there from Finzi over onto the D.Va. Going to be further behind considerably. Blizzard coming down the wall, going to be dropped and try to get the freeze. Bomb up over the top from Neko, looking for a pick into the ice block. Goes Shadowburn to keep himself safe, but they do lose out on the supercharger side. Amp damage not going to be there. Jonak still sitting front and center here towards the point, looking for a snipe. Sun goes in on the Nene in the back line. Soon manages to find him, but it's at the cost of 3 members on the side of Paris Eternal. Soon trying to fan the hammer his way back in through the main wall. Will get locked up, will get taken down. And NYXL looking to make this a very fast cap here for themselves. Just had to finish off Finzi. Now ticking up, the first one going to be rolling through. Shadowburn trying to make his way over onto the point, but will get taken out. A headshot there from Libero. Blizzard, just for good measure, freezes up Gray. Second tick now coming in. Cloudy just delivering himself unto death. Will get finished off, and that should just about be the finish. It'll wait for a couple more seconds here. Spency just zips his way around, but will get taken down. Shadowburn trying to rejoin, but can't block his way over onto the point in time. That's going to be well over 3.5 minutes here, I believe, established for the NYXL.
Saying Soon's praises, New York respected him, went for the Symmetra port. That doesn't work, but it's actually just Soon's greed, his forward position that gets him killed early. The snowball comes through, and we don't get to see Soon's defensive Widow.
3:41 set up here by the NYXL. Let's see how Paris fares on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And here we go. Second half of Volskaya getting ready to come up. Paris Eternal be going on the attack. 3 minutes and 41 seconds, the time to beat.
Yeah, and this was Paris's greatest, of what we've seen so far. We saw obviously a control map, right, where you don't get to see Widowmaker very often. Now we have 2 attack and defense, right, 2 parts of this map. And the defender's advantage for the Widowmaker is where you really have a great strength if you're a star Widow player like Soon. And, I know we're really hammering it in here, but he played greedy and got punished. We never really got to see that. But remember what I was talking about earlier. He's the type of Widowmaker player who will take the attack Widow even with that disadvantage. And often he wins. So he checks, he pops. We'll see if he keeps it.
Right now he's considering the flip, just waiting back here in the spawn to get a call out here from his squad as they push forward.
Could be a fake out. It's a fake out. He's going to go for it.
Yeah. They wanted to see if Nene was going to be running the Widowmaker, I believe. And now that they spot it, wants to try to match him and come out on top in that battle. You can see a lot of damage going through Nene already. And 61% towards that infra site. And now Shadowburn as well will be matching with the Hanzo for the double sniper on both sides. Soon spotted by the Sonic Arrow, pulls down onto the low ground.
He wants to make sure he's not sandwiched here by Meko coming in from the other side. He's also under threat non-stop from Jonak, who's sniping with the Ana.
And they're not really finding too much of an angle. Paris Eternal could just move up onto the corner right now with a barrier. So we go ahead and get the picture-in-picture for both of these Widowmakers. Haven't really been able to spot each other yet, but good shot goes through. And you can see that's going to be Meko popped out. Good D-suit coming in for Soon, giving them an advantage. Now back over onto the point, 1.5 ticks nearly grabbed by the side of the Paris Eternal, but Nene manages to find a pick on a Cloudy, but now Meko's gonna be gone. Nene, however, takes down that opposing Widowmaker, is looking for the shot here onto Gray. Good pressure comes out from Shadowburn, keeping That's Zenyatta safe here on the side of the Paris Eternal. Poison Trap does come through. Nene has to just pull back away from Finzi, however. But they're off the point for now. Getting rid of Cloudy, getting rid of those barriers, allows them to maintain control.
And now Nene's back to a safe position, so it's going to be really difficult for Soon to actually challenge him. As you can see here, he's taken out as soon as he pokes.
Pull in on the Libero, 8 HP remaining. One follow-up shot from Finzi. Does manage to finish him off.
He gets his take a breather off. He's actually living.
And he's going on the flank, though. We'll just be able to spray Gray down with a left click to finish him off.
He can't stay out here too long, though, because Soon has respawned.
Mortality Field going to be taken down. They've got the window set up. Yeah, Matrix through. Shadowburn going to be spraying through that one. Now the whole hog as well. Looking to take down that barrier. They do so, but Anamo is coming up with kills himself. The Battle Mercy coming in. Gets rid of Shadowburn, then Cruz, and the rest of the team follows up.
And that was a pretty nice usage there of the Dragon Strike coming through from Libero, because he's going to be able to guarantee the cleanup and that Nene can get back into a pretty safe position. If you watch this moment here, you're going to be able to see the clicks come through.
Boosted up right now. Nene just waiting for that moment for Soon to poke his head out.
But, I mean, look, this is a moment where, again, Nene's playing forward just like Soon did. It costs Soon big on the defense. He does back away, though. He does not try to challenge too long. He's actually going to step back, go back up here to the high ground, as you can see. That makes it hard for Shadowburn to come up and do this poke damage because he's under threat of the Widow nonstop. Also, he's getting hit by Jonak at the moment. Here comes Nene's wraparound.
Here's the supercharger thrown down by Mono, and he will get taken down. Nene finds another shot onto Soon, but now he's up close and personal with Finzi. But on top of this one, going to be difficult, but he actually does miss out on the hook. Goes into the corner, gets the take, tries to spray him down. Nene, does he actually make it out of here with his life? He grapples to the high ground. Now looks for the shot. Doesn't quite find it, but the poison trap takes him down. Oh man, Nene! He is in the building. Cloudy's out to dry. Gets taken down. They get close to capping the point, but now there's 25 seconds remaining.
25 seconds remaining, and that attempt to back cap from Cloudy. You know, I mean, look, there's not much you can do as Narisa. You're low mobility. You might as well try to die as quickly as possible while capping the point. But he staggers himself as a result. He's coming back on the Wrecking Ball because they don't have time. Soon's going to have to play greedy. He's going to have to play risky. He's been losing out in this Widow matchup.
And there it is again. Nene comes up with another one. The Bionade is there. Meko finds a pick onto Gray. Gray going to be res back through. They get the ball onto the point. The force at the OT, but Cloudy just does not stand a chance. The halt in to pull Cruz back down to the ground. Haven't been able to finish him off yet. Soon swaps over onto that Tracer. OT bleeding away. Gray going to be eliminated. Finzi makes his way through. They got themselves up to 2 ticks, but now the Roadhog going to be taken down. OT going down again. Rejoin in from the Wrecking Ball. Pile driver through, doesn't get any damage, gets halted right back into the fight. One after the other, picked off. They made it up to 88.8%. They can make a wish, but if they wish for victory, they're not gonna get it. It's not gonna come true. NYXL move up 2-0 now in the series.
And it's Nene who ends up getting the better of the Widow exchanges on the defense soon. Too greedy, picked early, double cap comes through, and despite a lot of different tactics from Soon, a lot of different flankings, Nene still comes up on top.
Match point there for NYXL. Let's see how they fare after halftime.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
不许走。
The NYXL are looking to lock up that #2 overall spot in our season playoffs. So far, it's business as usual. It's New York up 2-0 over Paris at the half. Welcome back into the Blizzard Arena, everybody. It's Puckett. I'm here with Zoe and Bren. Bren, you went with Paris in this one. So far, not looking so good, buddy. It's 2-0 New York.
Correcting it. Yes, yeah. I mean, I think me, along with a certain somebody in the control room, also kind of underestimated New York a little bit coming.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that a little bit later, but yeah. Don't mean to call you out, Johnny, but I'm calling you out.
Now, Zoe, you said on the pre-show you want to see more Saviolbi, and for good reason. If you're watching Game 1, the old man still has fresh hands.
Oh, he certainly does. And you know what's the most surprising of all the things here? Saviolbi, this is the first time he's actually playing Reaper on this stage. He's not played any Reaper in Season 1 entirely, and he's not played any in this very season so far, and he looked phenomenal on it. He took the opponents for a walk there, and he got so many clutch moments together with Libera on that Mei. Really, really great duo. Jonak ended up fragging out a Moira as well. So, yeah, overall, it was a lot of great cohesion from the New York side. However, round 1 was very one-sided for New York. Round 2, very one-sided for Paris. And then the last one could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way. And honestly, as soon as I saw Soon walking out on that Sombra, I was a little bit worried.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't do too well on heroes where they require a lot more thinking than kind of just the raw aiming.
It's a little bit more coordination as well.
Yes, and that's something that Paris hasn't been known for, is the coordination. So I saw them rolling out, and I was a little bit worried, but it was definitely closer than we were anticipating between on that first map.
How did Soon play? Because he was the guy you were hyping up coming into today.
Well, map 2, well, not too great.
Not too great.
Not
But
too
his
great.
Sombra looked a lot better than he expected initially,
Yeah.
so that was good.
And so I feel like you owe a special someone on New York an apology. Nene got called out on the pre-show for not looking great on the snipers. That totally different gameplay today on Volskaya.
I didn't say he looks bad. I just said he didn't pass the eye test. So I apologize, Nene. You rocked it. Clearly that worked out very well for them. Soon had nothing on Nene. Nene absolutely dominated this battle. On Reaper, he looked strong again. They captured A and B in a very quick manner. However, once Nene then switched onto the Widowmaker for that Widow 1v1, it was all the Nene
Dominant.
show.
Watching this match unfold in map 2, it was definitely, I can definitely feel like we were, at least me personally, underestimating New York and their capability to adapt this quickly. They didn't look too good in their last match, but this match they definitely shaked up. They've got a way better understanding of how to play the game now, playing a lot more of the, the Mei Reaper compositions that we're seeing becoming more and more popular. But as an individual basis, I mean, we even saw moments of brilliance from Jonak. We haven't seen this in quite some time. This is not a meta where you see Zenyatta players really popping off, getting multiple kills, yet here he is actually still performing at a ridiculously high level. Really that, 2018 MVP candidate that we once knew.
He made a lot of switches there, though. We saw him on Ana, we saw him on Zen, we also saw him on Moira. So he was playing very situational to whatever the team needed.
But this right here, I mean, Nene just didn't even make it close.
Hey, buddy.
I mean, it was actually a slaughter. And it's embarrassing for me as well because I was bigging up Soon as an individual so much, right? On the pre-show today, I was saying, this is going to be the biggest boon is when Soon's playing that Widowmaker, that Hanzo compositions. We go into Volskaya, I thought this is going to be it. But then Nene just comes out, and statistically, 50% critical hit accuracy,
Pretty
no
solid,
critical hit
pretty
accuracy,
solid.
is happy numbers. These are some of the highest numbers that you're going to see in the league. When a player's playing like this, they're unstoppable. I mean, I'm not surprised that Soon wasn't having a good game when he was up against Nene. Sometimes you just have streaky games as a Widowmaker player. Nene was one of them today.
Looking
And
like
Nene hard focused him as well. So Soon had the most deaths on his team, and I think half of them might have been on the hand of Nene.
Soon still has at least 2 games to get some revenge. We'll find out if he can do that in the second half. But before we go to break, we got to check in. It's one of my favorite new additions to OverwatchLeague.com. We've been doing it all year here in 2019. It's reinforcements, power rankings, and coming into the week, guys, he was a little bit low on the New York Excel. Let's take a look at our top squads. He had New York at number 8. Do you think that New York is a top 8 team? Are they higher? Where do you rank them right now, Zoe?
See, that's a bit of an issue because I personally wouldn't rate Paris super mega high up. So them dominating a team such as Paris, I'm not sure how much that really says for New York. I think they need to be tested against teams we all consider the top 3, such as San Francisco Shock or Vancouver Titans.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this now, again, hindsight is 2020, but having New York at 8th, it was justifiable almost previously with their matches there just then, but having seen those 2 maps just then, they have a way better understanding of how to play the game right now. I would say they're a better team than Seoul, and Valiant, and Gladiators. I mean, again, this was, created on the Sunday last week, so, hindsight 2020,
right.
Give them the benefit of the doubt with that. But New York, in my mind, who are the teams that are above them right now? I mean, there's only 3, I think. I think it's London, I think it's Vancouver, and I think it's Shock. And then I think New York is slotting in quite nicely, honestly, just off those 2 maps that I've seen.
Top 4 is good for me. I like it. If you guys want to check out the full rankings from Reinforced, make sure you head over to overwatchleague.com every Wednesday. On the way out, we got to give a big shout out to one of the guys on the other side of the stage. He goes by the name of Shadowburn. It's someone that I first fell in love with watching his Genji and, of course, his Pharah play. Today, he's got some of the best tips for any young Pharah players out there. It's Game Set, brought to you by Omen by HP.
Shadowburn!
My name is Josh Gusha. I'm Shadowburn. I'm playing for Paris Eternal. Pharah creates a lot of space for her teammates because it pressures enemy teams so hard. You have to make sure you're getting out of choke, you're not gonna get spammed. You have to magix yourself and protect your teammates. That's something special and unique about Pharah, creating a lot of space for your team. So most of the time when you flying as a Pharah about the choke, you want to look for a really good target. And most of the time you want to aim for hit scan players, so they won't have enough space to shoot you. Or you just can find a really easy target to kill, maybe Anna, she's gonna be out of position. You can freely to shot her. I have 2 favorite maps to play on Pharah, Oasis and Zhejiang Tower. There's a lot of space to fly and create space for your teammates. So I usually put my settings, everything on low. I limit my FPS so my game gonna work more consistently. I could show you my crosshair too. So I just use normal crosshair, it's pretty big. I think it's pretty important to see on projectile heroes. I use really high sensitivity, as you could see, it's 10, 1K DPI in mouse driver. It helps you to move properly and also you can aim faster. That's something that's really important for projectile heroes. So now I'm gonna show you some of my practices. I'm going in custom lobby and I'm gonna show you some practice against bots. This is what I actually do. If map is the really big skybox, you could always use a rocket jump plus shift, so it's gonna put you even higher than usually. On this map it's pretty important to be as high as possible, so enemy team not gonna see you and they're gonna struggle to shoot you in the air. And you can use this tower as a hiding spot, so enemy widow not gonna shoot you from spawn. To reset your fuel you can use this tower like that. You're just going up by rocket jumps and most likely your Mercy is gonna kill you, so it's not gonna be a problem. There's no way enemy team is gonna see you, so you can easily flank from really high up. Thank you guys for watching my game set episode. I hope I really helped you with your Pharah plays and you can get better.
Shadowburn just all over these guys.
Shadowburn has just been excellent on the Pharah.
His Pharah might be one of the best in the league, honestly.
Team up for special attack. Face your resistance.
And welcome back. We are halfway through this series. NYXL currently leading 2-0 after taking that victory there on Volskaya. Dominant stuff coming out from these guys. I mean, both Libero and Nene looking fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, Soon had an off game. I don't think this necessarily means that like he's suddenly not a great Widowmaker player. I think a lot of people were judging Nene too quickly off of just one series that was played, and now people are suddenly saying, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but people are suddenly saying, well, actually, he's really great because we saw him play one map. So let's slow down for a minute. Let's ease our way into this series and the rest of Stage 4 before we make any big conclusions from especially just this Volskaya map. We're heading into King's Row, which is another map where you can see defensive Widow. It's pretty rare to see the attack Widow. We saw Fleta attempted to disastrous results yesterday. But, you know, let's see if Paris could turn this around. I think playing safe and taking less greedy positioning setups is going to be really the go-to for this squad in our next two maps. And they're going to be defending first and already showing us the Hanzo and the Mei. So a little bit of a less risky, less all-in type of defensive setup.
Well, let's see how the Paris fares here on London. Map a little bit closer to home for them. So, you know, versus the Valiant, saw them nearly pull off the reverse sweep. They had a reverse sweep just yesterday. You know, coming through from the Justice, so maybe the Paris Eternal can make it happen. Slightly different opponents on the scale, but you never know what can come through. If you get that momentum back into your sails, you know, might be able to make it happen here. So we'll see how they fare. Will be the Mei rather, and the Hanzo.
And interestingly, the attack Reaper here on King's Row, very different than what we're seeing for most teams right now. You can get to the point, you can do a ton of damage, but getting there is the problem.
Balls up on both sides, already going to be burned. Libero getting right up in front of the enemy team, and that's going to be him getting the kill here onto Shadowburn soon as well, down to about half HP. They do get the pull through onto Libero, puts up the wall, however, and manages to survive through that Roadhog. The rest of the team collapses onto Finzi, and they take him down, and that is just going to be NYXL exploding forth onto point A and getting the cap.
Notice how Libero also, in a lot of these moments, you know, when you watch Mei players in pro play, you'll see that they don't actually go for the full freeze oftentimes. They just look for the slow, and then they escape using that slow, and the team does the rest of the work. That's how he kind of got away there from Finzi after that hook came through, and the team was there to help save him. So just a small little thing you could see Mei players doing right now is you don't always have to go for the full freeze. You can just use the slow to your advantage. It's really great with Reaper in particular.
Yep, soon with the swap over on to the McCree. Just going to be looking for those flashbang, fan the hammer combos to try to take down the Mei and the Reaper. Going for the headshot. While it's very nice to reward, accuracy is just not reliable enough to try to get the picks onto those two heroes.
Yeah, it's also just another way to outpoke Reaper like we saw at the beginning of the series on Busan. A little bit tougher on King's Row because you don't have great sightlines. He's more looking for the you know, flanks and the flashbangs that you were mentioning earlier. It's also great versus a flanking Reaper. You have that saving grace. Great eat there from Meko on the fault, but they are going to get walled.
Wall allows him to top, Cloudy back up. The Mortality Field going to be used now. Take it down. Shadowburn going low, trying to get some damage through. Then it nearly has that Death Blossom online. They do manage to block him off. Cloudy gets taken down. And that's just soon. So Fun going to allow for that cart to start advancing here for the side of NYXL as Nene looks like he's not done yet. He's looking for a little bit more. Sleep not going to connect either, but Gray seems like he's quite far out, so will not get taken down.
And it was a pretty bold chase there, but he's still able to get so far forward that can hide his positioning. They're not going to know where he is as they retreat. Blizzard is ready here for Shadowburn, but that's really all they've got to contest this. They're going to use the Supercharger to try to get close, but very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, even on the approach before that barrier came down, you can see so much damage going forward onto Cloudy. 1.79 meters let them go now. The sound barrier going to be coming through, and Soon just disappears. A great magic trick there from Mono. Gets rid of the McCree. Immortality Field keeps Cloudy alive for a little bit longer and allows for Cruz to actually counteract the pick here onto Mono, but with a bomb into the back, Great goes down, and now it's all crews trying to keep everybody topped up, but there's just nothing that he can do against this Reaper. Nene is just ripping them to shreds. How about here on the Finzi's mech will be the last attempt to hold that cart. It will glide through, and they are just shy of 5 minutes for this final stretch of King's Row.
They used a lot for that too. They used the Blizzard, they used the Supercharger, they used the Amplification Matrix. And Finzi's gonna have to be really careful here about where Nene is, because he's hiding up here on the high ground. He teleported up here, and now he can just drop down, and if Finzi's out of position, then that's gonna be the end of it. He's looking right now, he's up here checking, but he hasn't actually scouted Nene yet.
Yeah, don't believe he's used. Oh, Nene
spotted.
taking a lot of damage. They spot him out. He's gonna have to try to rake walk his way back over to the team. Maywall comes up as the barrier just to ensure his safety. Hear that Deadeye coming through now soon, looking to zone them back. They get the pull on the Libero there for a moment, but will just be an expiration on that Deadeye. No Electric Cowboy being used either. So Nanabu's still there for Gray, but is that going to be enough? Because they don't have too many other ultimates coming online outside of that self-destruct from Finzi. Cart continuing the glide forward. Nene going to be taken down. Now Mono as well. So they will be able to stabilize here right at the last little stretch.
This is the first major stabilization we've seen from the Paris Eternal, and they've done a great job of tracking Nene and shutting him down. And in that last, moment where we saw Nene try to drop down Death Blossom, where he was looking for the teleport there to get a big one onto the supports, they've just had such a good knowledge of where he could be, and they reacted so quickly. He still holds that Death Blossom, and he just hasn't been able to find value out of it. He may have to swap if this push doesn't work out, because the longer you hold a Death Blossom, the less valuable the Reaper pick becomes in this type of situation.
Well, Shadowbird going to be taken down, so already a solid start. Lob in there from the Blizzard, but Jonah going to be taken down. Didn't have that Transcendence online, was 8% shy. Gray finds Mono as well, but Death Blossom goes through from Nene, and he takes down 2. Wall coming up, they are cut off, and that is the cart gliding into C. NYXL halted a little bit there at the end, but otherwise, making it look easy.
Yeah, he finally got his moment. He finally got to get that Death Blossom into a position to utilize it, and one pick opens it up super easy for the NYXL. This is a great time bank heading into their defense.
3 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock for NYXL. Let's see what Paris can get done on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Pass into the iris.
And here we go, halfway through King's Row. NYXL able to complete the map with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Paris Eternal, they are going to have one hell of a push if they want to try to beat that or even match it.
Now, 3 minutes plus is quite a nice start for the NYXL, only really being halted for a moment there by the Paris Eternal towards C. So, for the defense here, they're going to be taking a similar approach. It's going to be the Batiste, which is pretty required on King's Row because there's so many choke points, so many great ways to set up Vault Dragon Strikes, and he's great against hook combos. Such a great hero overall right now in this meta. For Paris, soon has the Widow locked in right now. And again, I feel like I trust Soon more than I trust a lot of Widowmakers in this league to be able to attack Widow on a map like King's Row. But I think that if he's not finding the success that he wants, and he may even just simply do one opening pick, that he'll probably swap pretty early. But he's going to look for it at least from the start here.
Grappling forward there over the top of the bus as that pull comes through and Vinci disappears. So, gonna have to wait for that respawn.
I look for a pop-up shot here, it looks like.
Yeah, doesn't get it. Everybody just gonna be sitting in behind this barrier.
He knows that New York is not running their own Widow, they're only running a Hanzo, so it's a lot easier to do flanks like this.
Ooh, Mortality Field, keeping him alive for a little bit. Can't get that hold through onto Mono. Try to set up a headshot here for Soon. We'll just be repositioning, moving up around the right side, but another tank going to be eliminated as Cloudy gets taken out this time.
It's actually getting some damage done here from the flank.
Yeah, gets rid of the Immortality Field so that he can actually try to find some picks.
They're using the statue to avoid sightlines for him, as you can see here, and sort of play back a little bit more. But because they keep killing the tank line of Paris, he can't really commit in. No one can actually start touching the point. And then he's not going to take the risk to try to match him with a Hanzo here. But it's just not enough. He's not able to put enough pressure on right now.
Yep. Ult over the top. Maywall there. Keeps everybody safe. Hasn't been able to get too much in the way of that Blizzard, but the Hulk comes through into the Dragon Strike, manages to find one, as Shadowburn does get taken down. Pool comes in now onto Meko going lower, but the Nano Boost gets invested from Jonek just to ensure that he stays alive. Soon finally finds a pick onto Nene, but Gray, Binzi, Cloudy all get taken down. And they can just wait for that Hanzo to rejoin them.
They focused down the Immortality Field during that Dragon Strike, and that opened everything up. The second it died, there was just no escape for the Paris players. And even though Soon was able to get that closing kill, there's just no way, again, that without the majority of your squad, you could really approach that point and take it. He's got Infrasight now. They're trying to use Halt to actually help set up some kills for him, but he can't find the angle. It's so difficult on attacking King's Row versus an Orisa.
Ball's coming in, but the pull still going to be good, and Cloudy gets taken down again. Meko setting that one up. Then it goes low. Immortality Field is rolling through. It's behind the corner, so Soon cannot snipe it.
Yeah, and they can use this barrier and the statue to avoid getting headshot by him right now. So even though he's got a flank angle, it's just so incredibly difficult to get kills.
For another one, this time not going to be able to find. Some AWOLs do come in soon. Gets the snipe onto Nene. But is that going to be enough for them? Supercharger going to be dropped in by Cloudy. Mono eliminated. Solid start to the push as Meko gets frozen. But it's a double Blizzard. And the Immortality Field is there for the Paris Eternal, so we'll be able to push forward here soon. Coming up with 2 more headshots on both supports. And that will be point A snatched, but a good time by the NY Excel, taking them down below a minute while this cap comes in.
And that's the kind of kills you need to see from Soon. He's able to thread the needle on those shots and come up with an opening for Shadowburn to then get into position to use a Blizzard. You know, you have other tool sizes, the Hanzo that allows this to happen for the Mei, right? Sometimes we do see Sombras coming around, trying to get hacks off so that the Sombra can get into position, or rather the Mei can get into position. And he does make it happen. Now he's going to swap over the McCree for that same sort of McCree versus Reaper scenario we've been talking about so much. Saw from Shax yesterday too, quite a lot.
Sleep there on a Finzi. No chance at a pull through though. Don't have that. Meko takes away the Halt. Fire Nade connects here on a Cloudy as he gets chunked down to about half HP. Nano thrown forward on the Nene. The walls are there, trying to block him off. Has to pull back on that Wraith Walk. It's going to be Mono getting taken down in the meantime, so the chances of being able to hold this at the choke getting limited more and more for the side of the NYXL as Paris tries to push up. And then gets dropped down. That was a flashbang waiting for him. Soon sets up the kill, follows up on the Jonek as the Bio-nades mean nothing to the Paris Eternal.
Paris is doing a great job here with the fire grenades from Gray as well. And they forced their way through here. Now Shadowburn's gonna have another Blizzard. Look at where Soon is standing here, just trying to, you know, check all corners while also potentially getting a flank on anyone being aggressive. Now he comes around and he's got full line of sight here. And Nene on the Reaper is having a big problem closing that gap.
Soon spamming away, looking to break down that barrier. Has the Deadeye ready to go. I expect Meko to try to get into a position to take that one away with the defense matrix. As well as Shadowburn's Blizzard Hauled up over the top. Deadeye going to be popped in the back, has the immortality field. Make sure that he can stay alive. Couldn't get an angle though onto Nene. He was taking a nap there onto the high ground. Pull comes through, Mono going to be eliminated. Finzy finds the final blow. So Blizzard just sits there on top of the point. Shadowburn, however, going to be taken down. The freeze coming in from Libero and Nene with the follow-up. Managed to find that, but another flashbang in. Headshot goes through. Nene gets taken down. Sound barrier going to be used by Anamo. The Blizzard jumped in by a Libero. They'll clean up a couple kills here and we'll be able to halt the card. The rollback now starting to come through with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the clock.
Very heavy commitment here for NYXL, but I think it's absolutely worth it because you know that if you commit these ultimates in the scenario of the Paris run where they were kind of stuck, you know, between a rock and a hard place in terms of hard engage, if you get the Blizzard off, you get to buy so much time. And you, worst case scenario now at this point, if they do cap B, you're still gonna have a better time bank, so you might as well risk it here because now you've got the opportunity to win the map outright and prevent overtime. So the risk pays off. This is gonna be a tougher fight, but I like the positioning they're setting up here. Very far forward with the Mei. And they could trap heroes and cut them in half from a different angle, as long as the pro doesn't get hooked.
Yeah. Has to stay safe for that one. Barriers coming down. Finzy trying to break the enemies. Maywall's going to be there. Whole Hog comes through, but now he's got to push through. We'll be able to use that Ant Matrix to try to empower that Whole Hog, but it expires. He doesn't get much done. The hook going to be denied away by the ice block from Libero. Now the self-destruct goes in, and Meko comes up with 3. Nene taking down Shadowbird as well with a Death Blossom. And that is just going to be OT ticking away. Can anyone make it to the cart? The closest person's great, but he's inside the building. He's trying to wrap around into the back, but he is not going to make it there. And NYXL will be able to take the series. They move up 3-0. One more chance for the Paris Eternal to take a map away.
The McCree was a good idea for the Paris Eternal, but it did not work out long term. Overall, the NYXL strategy was to control the high ground, to flank well with both the Reaper and the Mei, and they made it work beautifully.
Fantastically done. NYXL resurging after that loss. The hands of the LA Gladiators shutting the Paris Eternal down. As I said, one more chance to take a map on Escort, but that's as good as it gets. The victory not going to be possible for them here in this set.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Again, guys, MVP time is upon us, so make sure you get your votes in by August 25th. And of course, make sure you, if you're a T-Mobile customer, 25% off in the Overwatch League shop. Redeem that T-Mobile Tuesdays app and save on some nice Fanatics gear.
Yep. Check that out. Make sure you make use of that. Heading into our final map here of this series, NYXL really bouncing back in a big way compared to their loss against the Gladiators. They're dominant on really 3 different types of maps with different rosters. Obviously, Nene playing even the Reaper there in the end, looking dominant. So very clean. This is exactly what NYXL fans were looking for here. And Paris just not quite able to make the upset happen.
Yeah, a bit more fluidity here from the NYXL save. Yobi as well, as they mentioned during the halftime show, playing that Reaper for the first time. Seemed like he'd been doing it all Overwatch League long, you know, since the first year. Didn't play it at all, but comes in here and it still looks very clean. So definitely leveling up their performance from the first week. Seems like it was just maybe a bit of a fluke for the NYXL. They're back in the driver's seat, and now they're looking for the 4-0 win here today.
Yeah, 4-0 win, just going to put them more higher and higher and higher up in the standings if they could take it. It actually matters a lot more for Paris, who, if they're able to make play-ins, are going to be kind of on the edge with a lot of similarly ranked teams, so every single map matters, as, you know, we've been hammering into everyone's heads all season long, but with this format, especially with 20 teams in the new play-in format, like, it's very critical, and that's why we do play these map 4s, and that's why they are very important to take a look at, especially if you're a team who's on the edge.
Well, something else to take a look at is going to be our substitution for the NYXL. Flower will be making his way onto the stage, subbing in for Nene.
Yeah, been a while since I've seen this guy on the May, and you know, we know he's a great Pharah as well. It's where he got a lot of notoriety in the World Cup when he was on the South Korea national team. So Sky has not had as much success in Overwatch League as his famed results in Apex when he was playing under the name Nanohana. As we go into Havana here, I would love to see what we saw yesterday with the Pharah behind the spawn strategy from him. If he is going to be playing the Pharah on defense, that, you know, I don't know if it's going to be as shocking to Paris as it was to, you know, some of the teams who've encountered it over these last few days here. Since it's been shown now, it was kind of a surprise strategy we saw yesterday. But for Flower here, you know, he was a very consistent Mei player back when Mei was meta. And now that he is given the opportunity to play here, we'll see what he does on defense. That's where we're expecting to potentially see the Pharah. For now, locking in the McCree.
Well, we'll see how these guys get set up. Paris Eternal going to be first on the defense soon. Still going to be running the Widow alongside the double sniper. NYXL for now. Flower is showing us the McCree. But, okay, will be a flip over onto the Reaper. It's going for new standard, it would seem.
Well, Death Blossom from a Flower seems poetic.
True.
If he gets to build that one up, or if he was going to be forced to switch, because he's very much outranged and outpoked here by the double snipers of the Eternal.
Soon playing up on that flank, already going to have to be peeling away. This Flower is taking a couple shots, offering up that medium range damage onto the shield. Not going to be too meaningful here. And that is one of the things that NYXL are lacking a lot, is going to be shield break unless they can get Flower right up in front. They do not have a Roadhog.
But they are rolling forward pretty quick.
Yeah, they are trying to force them back, just running at them effectively. Just press W. Good shot there onto Anamo. Will weaken the enemy Lucio. He's not cut off from the rest of the squad for now.
He's got to get behind that cart. He'll get that passive healing. So pretty quick there. The Flower still hasn't really closed the final distance, that final gap.
Well, there it is, as you say. Gray will get picked off. Solid start, but Storm Arrows out from Shadowbird. Do manage to go down, and Flower having to try to get rid of that Immortality Field is finished off by Finzi. And the Paris Eternal will be able to halt the cart and establish some dominance.
Libero, and you might look at this and think, well, that was kind of strange to see him ice block there. He staggered himself, but it actually gives him full charge to heal, so he actually gets a little bit of a benefit from that, despite the fact that he will be staggered. Jonak was going to get staggered either way, so.
But he took 2 down with him.
Yeah, and the card is still rolling forward here. Paris respecting the Reaper, further stepping back here so they can utilize this composition.
Dragon Strike coming in from the flank. Shadowburn pushes them away here for the moment. Wall will go down as well. Straight back over towards the cart to try to inch this one forward. Cloudy's got the supercharger rolling. They have an Amp Matrix ready to go as well, but Jonek starts off with the Coalescence to try to keep everybody alive and maybe find a pick. Instead, it's going to be Finzi with the rockets taking down Libero. And Neko gets knocked out. Flashbang in soon. Manages to take Jonek down. They will punish him for that, but the damage is done, and NYXL are held off again.
They soon did an incredible amount of damage on that
push. We didn't have his first person view, but you can see rockets up to 80% of a Deadeye. And he just was chipping everybody away. The kills were coming through a lot in the kill feed for Finzi as he was getting the last few shots. But his positioning here with Shadowburn, it's not a double sniper comp per se, but it is hit scan here with the Hanzo. So you have a lot of range, you have a lot of poke, but with McCree, as you've been mentioning a lot, you have so much burst too when you do drop down and go into these fights. It makes it very difficult for something like a Reaper, in Flower in this case, to really get up into your face.
Sound barrier to start things. The NYXL push their way out here over towards the cart, looking for some kills, but instead, Mono gets taken down. Shadowburn with the Storm Arrows just chews straight through his HP bar. Supercharger just now becoming available. Soon still playing into the back, looking for an additional pick, and Flower is going to be the next one getting set up. Scoops the kill, and they hold on to the ultimates here. Just the Transcendence used by Gray, the rest of them getting ready to come online.
Jonak caught here, he was just a little bit staggered. But this is, you know, the sound barrier that comes out for Anamo, they have to use it to get Flower into position, right? And then Gray just counters with Transcend, so they still have that extra healing. They get to hold ultimates here. As you can see, they've got a great setup now. New York Excelsior is getting closer to that Death Blossom, but a Death Blossom is only as good as how you use it, and if you can't get into a position to blow the backline up, or if you're absorbed by Finzi, or you killed on approach, then it won't matter, and they've spent so much time trying to build that. It's looking rough here for NYXL on this fourth and final map.
Go getting close, self-destruct nearly there. Jonak, we know how quickly he can build up these Transcendences. He's 20% out, but should be able to find it here in the extended fight, as long as he doesn't get his head taken off by Shadowburner soon.
Great Sonic Arrow there by Shadowburn. He knows exactly where everyone is.
Hulk going to be coming in. The Deadeye is out. The May Wall is also up, blocking out the vision here for Soon. Clock down to 5 seconds. Managed to push the cart forward a little bit further now, and that's going to be the Death Blossom in from Flower. Manages to find Shadowburn, but Gray takes him down. Immortality Field's going to be gone. Libero eliminated. Self-destruct finds Cloudy, but Jonak is out of the fight. Can't use the Transcendence. Push around the corner. Meko manages to find the Cowboy. Gets rid of the McCree. Bomb over the top. Gets rid of the Supercharger, and Mount Mono going to be eliminated as well. Anamo barely gets the beat off in time. Sliver of HP remaining for him. Stays in the fight for a little bit longer. Immortality Field gets dropped in by Cruz. Buying more time for the rest of the squad to rejoin and swap. The swap comes in rather for Soon. Over onto the Tracer. OT bleeding away. Tag in for a second, but Flower, he just cannot stay alive, and that will be it. Paris Eternal, they get the full hold here on Havana against the NYXL.
We saw Nene find success versus Soon's McCree, but it wasn't easy on Kings Row, but he was able to make it happen with the May there. But Kings Row is a map that's very much narrower. There's not as much line of sight for McCree. You've got the McCree Hanzo setup where you've got so much range in an open area like A. It becomes so much more difficult to utilize it. And this has kind of been the theme for Paris Eternal. Finally, you know, all series long, they've been trying to outpoke this Reaper, and finally they really get this cross between strategic choice in the range poke they're looking at with the Reaper and actually finding success with the mechanical skill of this DPS lineup of Shadowburn and Soon. And you can really feel the dominance when those two things come together on a map that really caters to that playstyle. And I think a lot of people are probably going to be looking at this first attack and pointing at fingers at Flower, you know, because he's a player who's stepping in, you know, here for the 2019 season on a fourth map when the series is already won, and saying, well, you know, he didn't perform as well as Nene on the Reaper. But you have to think about the map, you have to think about the strategies, and I don't think we could really blame Flower. It was just really good play from the ranged DPS players on the Paris Eternal. New York is going to have a fantastic hold now if they're going to hope to get this 4-0.
Yeah, the fuller hold, as we kind of call it.
Yeah.
Trying to stop them from reaching that 83-meter mark right now. Playing around the right side. They want to push up here towards the spawn doors right at the last second. They are around the side. They are aware of this, so they're just going to go out the right. Take the cart and try to put the NYXL back behind them. Mono already taking a ton of damage there. We'll drop the barrier. They grab control. Wall coming in. Ult pulls Soon closer, but the Immortality Field is there. They melt it down, but they still can't get the pick. And Shadowburn tries to play around the back, and that's going to be Jonak taken down. Great stuff here from Shadowburn. Will get Holton back in, but leaps over, but he just barely cannot make it back into the spawn.
If he had lived there, they might have had a real chance here to actually push around this corner. Looks like New York should be able to clean up house now, though. They need a little bit of extra healing.
They're going to try. They get the wall off there up the top. But push up here. Soon comes in, fanning the hammer. again, taking down Mono. Now Meko gonna be knocked out. Immortality Field is killed off. That nets them. Gray, but Libero is gone. 4 members make it 5. Eliminated here on the side of the NYXL.
There's only so much Lucio could do in terms of healing when everyone on New York is very low from all the poke from Shadowburn and Soon, and he just comes in and finishes everyone off because all you have is Amp It Up to heal. You don't have an Immortality Field with the comp that New York is running. They're running the Lucios and Yada. They didn't have Sound Barrier, and that one was very close, but not quite.
Deadeye out from Soon, gonna be walled off, just cancels that one. Once it's not even worth the time to let it drain down.
He just wants to build another one.
Yeah, just get straight back into the action. Libero nearly taken out. Does have that Blizzard coming online. Still though, always a concern when playing a Mei, trying to use the Blizzard because there is a D.Va on the enemy team. Could very well be taken away from him. They get the halt, Libero. Forced into the ice block and Mono taken down. The card's still advancing. Now it's gonna have to be Meko playing forward here, trying to keep this thing contested. Blizzard comes in. No one really getting frozen up, and instead it's gonna be Jonek taken down and soon finds another pick. 6 men strong right now are the Paris Eternal. Flower eliminated. Libero going low again, has to use the ice block, and Meko is taken out. D-Suit and Mono rejoins with a Wrecking Ball, but does not stand a chance. And the Paris Eternal will be able to glide through. They take Kavana, they get this one in the end, but NYXL, they net themselves a series, and with that win, they are your Atlantic Division champions.
New York will take the Atlantic Division, but Paris strike back in this final map, a map that really suits their strengths the same way that Volskaya did. Had we seen a little bit more passive play from Soon and the Paris Eternal of Volskaya, maybe if they could have taken that map, we might be going to a Game 5 right now, but they weren't able to do it. Flower comes out once again, another appearance here, but he is shut down on the Reaper by the ranged DPS duo of the Paris Eternal. New York takes the series at the end of the day, continues their dominance, and finally, they've locked in that top Atlantic Division spot.
Do net that one for themselves. London was in the running for it, but NYXL seemed like it was just a matter of time, that single match clinch. And now they are the Atlantic Division champions here for 2019. A fantastic bounce back performance here from the NYXL. Let's go ahead and hear from the players down on the floor. We got Danny Lim standing by for an interview.
Wolfgang Achilles, thank you very much. Everybody, give it up for Nene. Yeah, great job, great job. Last week, you guys suffered a tough loss against the LA Gladiators, but you guys bounced right back with a win today against the Paris Eternal. How are you able to turn things around so quickly? 저번 주 시즌 스테이지 4 첫 시작은 좀 패배로 시작을 했지만 오늘 또 승리를 거두시게 되셨는데요. 좀 어떻게 해서 빠르게 이렇게 승리로 잘 이길 수 있었나요?
일단 첫 경기 때는 저희가 sorry.
You could touch the ball.
오케이. 첫 경기 때는 이제 저희가 아직 확실한 메타 파악이 좀 미숙했던 것 같고요. 이제는 저희가 이제 좀 더 적극적으로 다 팀원들도 다 팀 미팅에 참여하면서 이제 다 같이 열심히 연구하고 그렇게 하는 것 같아요.
For the first match, I believe we lost against the LA Gladiators just because we didn't have a full understanding of the current meta, the 2-2-2 roll-off, and that was one of the biggest downsides for us and getting defeated by the LA Gladiators. Coming into today's match against Paris Eternal, we really analyzed our compositions and we really studied up on what we could do to get the victory. So everyone had to partake in our meetings, and everyone was very studious about learning the composition and learning the meta and everything, and that's how we won today. Alrighty, and with the 2-2-2 roll-off, we're actually seeing a lot of variety of damage-dealing heroes. Nene, you play a lot of Widow, you play a lot of Reaper. If you have to choose, what is your favorite hero to play in this current meta? 아무래도 네네 선수는 원래 좀 딜러고 너무 잘하는 딜러시잖아요. 그런데 이번 메타에서 좀 이 영웅 되게 재밌게 잘하고 있다라고 하는 영웅이 있다면 누가 있을까요?
일단 두 가지가 있는데 일단 위도우 메이커와 리퍼인데 그래도 리퍼가 더 재밌기는 한 것 같아요. 아무래도 이제 지금 리퍼가 많이 나오잖아요. 근데 이제 리퍼 궁을 쓸 때 이제 여러 명 잡았을 때 그런 쾌감이 장난 아닌 것 같아요.
So two heroes, first one of course Widow and also Reaper. There's a lot of Reaper's actually showing up a lot in this current meta, and it just feels really good when you're ulting with Widow and you could get a lot of kills at the same time. It just feels really good to play Reaper in that way. All right, thank you so much. And everybody give it up for Nene one more time. Casters, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny. Good to hear from Nene. After the victory, played quite well there, especially with the Reaper. So solid stuff from him. They get that win. They clinch the Atlantic Division in the end.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from New York. I mean, we've talked about how they've looked a little bit shaky as of late. They never had that finals appearance in the playoffs, but they have been the most consistent Atlantic team. They clinched that #1 spot. They're the champions of the Atlantic Division. Arguably, as the Pacific Division has looked a lot stronger this season, but the New York Excelsior have been very consistent. Plus 46 map differential up there with the Titans and Shock.
Yeah, I mean, being that close to the Shock after they had a golden stage is pretty damn impressive. But here we go, Omen, player of the match. It is going to be Libero.
Yeah, he has had the most consistent performance, I'd say, of the DPS squad, between him, Nene, and Flower. We saw across the board, as well as Sabiobi, of course, on control. His Mei set up a lot of these really good fights, and part of the reason why Nene was able to have so much success with the Reaper for so long, despite being outranged, was because Libero set up a lot of really great freezes. He had this headshot onto Soon. Right after Soon grappled, remember, that was the moment that Paris lost control of Volskaya, and had they won that map, we might be in Game 5 right now. So just small plays that end up being big plays in the grand scheme of things from this guy.
Yeah, very solid Mei performance. A major step up compared to what we saw from him versus the Gladiators. So it's kind of, getting the gears greased up. He's got it moving now, and he's back into form with that classic pick from him. We'll have to see how he fares on Genji the next time he wants to play that one as well. But overall, a good start to the day for the side of the NYXL, but we are just kicking things off. We still have 3 more series here today. And coming up next, it's going to be the Philadelphia Fusion going up against the Houston Outlaws. That one will be cast by Monte Cristo. Curious to see how he feels about them after they literally poisoned him on the opening show. So that'll be coming up in just a few. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch on the way.
If you thought this was going to be easy, you haven't been paying attention. What a journey for Sabiobi.
Jonak is back.
They finally hit their stride, and they have started to look so strong.
Jake gets moved off the side.
Even when you think NYXL is out of it, they know they're still in.
The EMP, it hurts. That's going to leave a mark.
New York Excel, an elite top team in the league.
And here we go. They net themselves a series, and with that win, they are your Atlantic Division champions.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.